about a swimmer named Alec Dixon. I'm sharing the story with you because this is a circumstance that we encounter from time to time as a coach. In high school, he was primarily a basketball player and swam on the swimming team during the swimming season only. What attracted me to Alec was the fact that he was a multi-sport athlete, and during his meeting with me on campus, I was very impressed with his personality, his principles, how he conducted himself, and how he interacted with me as a coach. I felt that even though he didn't meet the time standards that we'd normally require for an incoming athlete, that there was a tremendous upside based on his integrity as a young man. When he arrived on campus, I watched him interacting with his teammates prior to training. The swimmers like to play these silly games, and he jumped right into the middle of them. His athleticism from being a multi-sport athlete showed through very quickly, and his competitiveness put him in a position where he was winning games right from the onset. What surprised me most was that when we began our survey of the athletes to evaluate and test their structural integrity and how they manage shape and balance on land, he wasn't nearly as well connected as I first thought. Visually, he looked like a fantastic athlete, but when we put him into certain positions and stances, he wasn't able to maintain his balance or structural integrity at all. Based on that knowledge and those initial surveys, I had to take Alec aside and say, listen, I'm not going to be able to teach you freestyle from the get-go. We're going to have to wait until your body is ready to receive that kind of instruction. As it turned out, it took much longer than I thought. 3 to 4 weeks in, he was progressing, but he still wasn't ready to be introduced to a style of freestyle that requires a high level of structural integrity. Around 6 weeks into the program, I pulled him aside one day and told him that he was looking more connected on land and handling the in-water program a lot better, but that he still wasn't ready to get started on this new freestyle. I was concerned about this since I spend every minute I can working with athletes on their skills, and I was worried that he could see that I wasn't spending that much time with him. True to his disposition, though, he gave me this huge smile and said, "Coach, I trust you completely. I have no problem at all with waiting until you think I'm ready." About 10 weeks in, he was really starting to show a strong level of improvement with regard to his structural integrity on land, and I felt like it was time for him to learn how to swim freestyle correctly. I took him aside for a special session during the middle of the day and used some of the tools I normally use to teach him a new freestyle. It took about an hour of in-water skills and video review to really grasp exactly what I was trying to teach him, and it all blossomed from there. In the middle of week 13, we were doing a set of 825s, with the odd ones being easy and the even ones being a 5-cycle max effort from a neutral start. And because he was last in the lane, he left the far wall well after the kids in front of him. Before he set up his neutral start, I got the attention of the kids in front of me and said, "Hey, check out Alec." Everyone on the wall turned around and watched him. Alec, not knowing they were watching him, took off, and he just looked brilliant. He was on top of the water, looking perfectly balanced at max speed. When he got to the wall, the kids were just hooting and hollering, and they were just cheering and super excited about how great he looked. And the smile that erupted on Alec's face at that time, at this recognition from his teammates, meant the world to him. It was an enjoyable moment, really, for all of us. It would be wonderful if I could end the story with a Hollywood movie moment, but unfortunately Alec managed to injure himself a week before his peak event. It was a huge letdown for him and everyone around him because we were all looking forward to see him crush it at the meet. However, the reason I share this story with you is the simple fact that sometimes we run into athletes who look the part, seem the part, but if you don't take the time to really evaluate them to find out where they are as far as their structural integrity is concerned, then you might put them into circumstances that put them over their head during their developmental process. Every time you start a new season or work with a new group, have an evaluation process or a plan in place. When a new athlete joins your group, or where an athlete comes back from some kind of injury or has been out for an extended period of time, have a plan to evaluate them. Make sure that they are ready to handle the intensity of the training that you're going to put them through. There's nothing wrong with having to wait a few extra weeks or months or even a season to get an athlete on track. If the goal is to achieve their organic potential, then planning is essential. As coaches, you should want to avoid putting them into environments where constant physical and mental failure leads them to make the decision that it's okay for them to walk away from their sport. No one wins when that happens, and it doesn't play well 20 years down the road when they hit a midlife bump and anguish about the what-ifs of their life or their career.